What's up? Had to grab some coffee. All right. What's good? What's good? No name. Everybody active in the house tonight. What's up? What's up? Obviously, I can't say I'm surprised. Watch how fast these streams start filling up. More of this, we'll have more people, and everybody's happy. Well, I mean, guys, it's been a fucking hell of a day. We've cleared out a lot of major levels. Still not all the way, I wouldn't just, balls to wall saying we're going all new all-time highs yet, but we are looking pretty good. Main levels to beat are going to be up here, right? This 50,000, right? 50,000, these equal highs up here. You're going to really want to watch price structure up there. But for now, let's celebrate. We've been making hella money. Our bags have been pumping. I haven't looked at this much. What I want Bitcoin to move sideways for a little bit, right? Even maybe a little retracement, maybe somewhere down here. We want to give the alts time to run, right? Don't want to just have endless pumps because they're followed by endless dumps. We want to have seasonality. We want to see money cycle from one sector to the other, just like the good old days, right? The bull run, we'll use that term. I wouldn't say we're there just yet, but we are looking pretty good. One second, let me put this. One thing I want to go over, I know that most of you guys, I didn't really get too many suggestions for stuff to go over my stream, but I did get one request, and that was to explain the long position. And some of you guys may get it, some may not, but the question was, what do all of these numbers mean? Right. Well, first of all, unless you're trading Forex or using lot sizes, don't even worry about your position size or your open P&L or quantity, right? The main takeaways I want you to have, I think I can actually edit some of this. Maybe I can't. I think it's this one. Yeah, I had it before. So this is really all you're going to need all that really matters, right? This is your amount of pips, right? And your percent. Let's go back to this so you can see. So, with Bitcoin, it's pretty easy. Pips or dollars, right? Well, actually, that depends on what broker you play. Point and percent for you Forex guys, you're familiar with what I'm speaking of, but the main stuff you need to worry about really is just your percentage and your risk to reward, right? Whenever you hear me talking about R, like, oh, it's a 10R play, it means there was a 10 to 1, right? Which means your profit target was 10 times as far away as your stop loss. And as a trader, you want to make sure you take high R trades because I'll break it to you. Any of you guys who've been doing this well know that the best of us lose, right? Everybody takes losses. You don't want your P&L looking like this. I see people giving signals where their P&L looks like 2 blocks. Like, it's a pointless trade. Even if your TA is right, it's pointless. Why? Because the risk to reward's not there. It's like anything in life, right? If you don't have enough risk to reward, it's not worth your time. And make sure you value your time and value your money especially. Right? Even 2 to 1, that's it's all right. Not really great. I like to go for a 2.5 to 1, if not 3 to 1, right? And it's not hard to get these kind of setups, right? It's really not if you trade the way that I teach you how to trade. For instance, we'll go back on to limits that I have set. think it's actually perp charts. Now, we'll see if these come back down and hit. I think that they will. But you see this kind of risk reward, you have 12 and you have 14. This is what you want to be looking for. And don't kill yourself. And only, some people always want to just, they get 20 R or this and that, and they just force themselves to take trades that really aren't there. And you kind of have like an illogical stop loss. Don't be one of those guys, right? Um, too many people I see are more, you know, infatuated with flexing their P&L than, actually trading correctly. And sometimes there are opportunities where you'll have 30 R. I mean, it happens, right? But make sure you're not trying to chase that, right? And don't only take trades that have 5 R in this, because a lot of times what I see happening is people, um, they're chasing these trades just to say they hit them, right? So don't be one of those guys. But for instance, here, if you're patient, right, we can find some really good setups. Uh, you just gotta wait for them. For instance, here, you could say this is a good example of how people would do this the wrong way. So they would say right here is the order block, right? So they're gonna set this, and then they're gonna have their stop just under the same candle, right? Because that's how ICT and all these people trading gonna do it. 10 pips under the candle, and they're going to say, oh, this is going up to, all the way up to these highs over here. And that's the other side. They'll do, terrible targets, right? And then this looks really cool, right? Um, don't do that, because what you're doing is you're going to make yourself lose the same amount of money, right? Because if you trade the way I've, kind of taught you guys to trade, then you're going to be losing the same amount of money on a 1% stop loss as you would on a 20% stop loss, right? So it doesn't really matter about the size of the stop loss, right? Now, sure, you're going to make more money off those high R's because you're able to go heavier in them, but it doesn't matter if your stop loss is getting hit. You're still losing 1% of your port, or 2% if you've been doing this a while and you've kind of upped your risk. So I just want to touch on that before I get started. So going back to Bitcoin perp charts. These ones I actually had marked up. So we cleared structure. What I would like to happen here at this point, I would like for us to come up and tap into this 48,575 region and engineer some more buy side liquidity, right? Why? Because if we could have, sorry, if we could have more liquidity to the upside engineered, right? And then we come down and clean up some of this trend line liquidity, clean up some of these fair value gaps in the lower time frames, mitigate some order blocks, then we have reason to go to the upside, right? Because right now, the only liquidity we still have liquidity here, right? It's still a high. It's a clean high. There's obvious liquidity above that. And then up here, right, you've got these equal highs. Oops. Thought that was a line. You got these equal highs right here, and they're not totally equal, I get it, so I wouldn't play them the same, but these are the major highs of the range. You're going to see order flow above those levels. So with that being said, we're going to want to engineer more liquidity to the upside if we want to continue moving upwards in a healthy cycle, right? And how are we going to do that? Well, for one, a lot of people that trade smart money seem to forget that trend lines are also liquidity, right? But don't forget, we have a ton of liquidity, very easily accessed right there, right? So how would I maybe look to play this, right? Well, everybody, this is where everybody wants to buy. This is where everybody on Twitter is going crazy. Everybody who didn't buy Bitcoin down here, crypto, is buying now because they're FOMOing and they think that we're just going to 70K from here and 100K this and that, and they're seeing all the news. That's all being done for a reason. That's how the markets work. And those kind of people are the fuel that are getting thrown into a coal oven, literally, to make the rest of the market go. So don't be one of those people. Understand that, sure, we may continue from here, but rationally, it would make sense to pull back from soon. So, how do we play that? We're going to wait for liquidity to the downside to be swept up, and we're going to find areas where we could have possible entries. And what we're going to do, first off, we're going to look in discount, right? Until we clear this range, we're still in the same trading range, right? So we want to make sure we're taking longs and discount if at all possible, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, you can look for order blocks that have areas of liquidity near them. Well, first off, we've got right here, and yes, I'm going to use a smaller candle. It has more volume in it, right? If you notice right there, higher volume. But I'm not going to plot an entry from this, right? They're just you can get much more of a precise entry within this area. But I'm going to mark it up, right? Because it's going to hold some relevance. There's going to be a lot of liquidity in this day, right? Because remember, we're looking at the daily chart. There's 24 1-hour candles in this chart, right? So there's a lot of different angles we can take on this. But the main aspect I'm taking from this is that if we come down to this level, we'll have manipulated this trend line liquidity. We're in discount, and also it's a daily order block. So from there, like I said, I want us to come up and tap that. I mean, ideally, we'd just wick right off the same level. I mean, that would be beautiful, right? So looking at the 4-hour, right? Let's go ahead and draw maybe the current trading range we're in. It's actually about the same, in all honesty. If you draw, even if you were to draw fibs on the 4-hour, it's really about the same as your strong high and your strong low. So with that being said, we're under equilibrium, right? Yes, we have this order block right here, right? Well, it's more of a breaker block since it's been dug into already by this wick. We do have some liquidity there. And I'll go over why I'm not as interested in that. I would set alerts for both of this. One second. Hop in the voice chat. I forgot I'm not. Um, so the way I would look at this would be more of a set an alert, come back and see how we're doing. So I would give some attention here, but I'm not really as much of a fan of that level as down here, and I'll show you why. For one, this is sitting at fair market value. This is in discount. Also, actually about the same influx of volume after each, but I like this candle right here. We broke a lot of structure with this one candle, and I'm still going to scale in even deeper to find a better level on this probably the 1 hour 15-minute chart. So that being said, I'll set some alerts here. Then also, I mean, looking here, there is some argument for this, right? We have well, actually, it's not much of a fair value gap here. About the same. Well, I don't really pay attention to that. Either way, we're manipulating this trend line liquidity. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour, right? So for one, this zone hasn't really been dug into, right? And for two, um, it's still in discount, like I've said. So we can fine tune this on the 1 hour and maybe say which candle had more volume. I would probably just still mark both of them. So it'd actually be a little bit of a wider zone. Maybe let's look at the 15-minute and see what's going on. It's probably right around equilibrium. I actually like this better. And at this point, we don't really have that much liquidity under these major lows. I wouldn't set stops just here because you do have some equal lows. There's a chance that gets dug into right here. So that would hinder me from setting stops just under this order block. And this is a good example of, somebody would maybe try to force a position and put, you know, stops just under the position, just so they can size their position larger. So here I would look. So what's this level? 441126. I'll just do it like this. I'm not going to set limits for this just yet, but I am going to plot this so I'm actively watching it, because sometimes I will forget to watch Bitcoin. 41126. So what, like I said, I want us to form some equal highs up here, and that would give us a very clean profit target. Also, very nice risk to reward. So we'd set stops just under. So that gives us 40,444. I would go 4244. I'll give us a 200 pip grace period. That would be a very nice play. And yes, the R is high, but we're not forcing it to be such, right? We'll set alerts here to watch for market structure, because we might see a nice reaction here at equilibrium. A lot of times you will. If we were to break structure here with force, I would be probably looking more towards equilibrium, right? Because as you guys know, some of these return to origin setups we get, I mean, they pay, and they're not necessarily in discount, right? I just now saw some of these comments. Don't be exit liquidity guy. But I like the setup on Bitcoin right now. I mean, we're obviously expanding, but you know, that's just giving way for more liquidity to be engineered. And a lot of this needs to get swept up. And we haven't had a pullback at all this entire time. And don't be tweaking out if we do, because I mean, every time crypto has a major pullback after runs like this, you know, we can be talking about a 25% pullback, 20%. It's not unusual. I'm not sure what we would need to get to where I want us to be. If we come up and double tap, it'd be about that, about 15%, a little less. So we'll just leave this here, come back and visit this later. Something that Playboy pointed out was USDT dominance. I honestly have not used this chart much before. I saw him talking about it. You know, if we go back, and I was just back testing a little bit. We go back to May, right, when during the crash. Like you see this day, this was the day of the, you know, entire just death crash of crypto. So we see pretty bullish looking price action, right? Um, on this, the USDT dominance. Because remember, if people are dumping their bags, it's going to go more into the tether. There's a couple different influences that go with this, because a lot of whales are switching to UST for good reason too. So you got to take that into account. But here, I mean, we look pretty fucking bearish if you ask me. So let me do like a 3-day, do a fractal of this, right? So we're gonna do a 3-day fractal. We'll go back to the daily time frame. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? If we could start to see some kind of action like this. Maybe we're right here. I don't know. Maybe we need one last pullback, right? Who knows? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Looks pretty similar to me. So we might need some more time, but I mean, if you see something of this nature, I mean, the last time we saw structure like this was back in September of 2020, right? So something else to definitely keep an eye on. I like this metric. I like. I'm surprised I hadn't used this before. I am very glad that that he pointed that out. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance as well. We just want to see this consolidate. Maybe let's see. Hmm. You know, when we look at this on the, I think it was the weekly, I had drawn this harmonic. You could see something of this nature after I think another full market cycle of crypto. Like I do think we're going to have some serious retracement at some point. This would be pretty extreme. I mean, this would be similar to the last crypto crash to see such a pullback like that. I mean, we're talking Bitcoin dominance all-time lows, or you see Ethereum kind of take some of the share. I think Ethereum deserves more of the market share that it does. I mean, there's so much more utility with Ethereum. It's it's you can't even. I mean, Bitcoin is a store of wealth. It's definitely more secure. It's definitely much more decentralized, 100%. But I would say a huge portion of mainstream adoption is going to come in the form of NFTs. And Ethereum is obviously the vehicle they're going to use. So I do think that it deserves a bigger portion of the market share than it has. So speaking of Ethereum, we might as well just go ahead and dive right into it. I'll go ahead and tell you Ethereum looks extremely bullish compared to Bitcoin. And I'll tell you why. If you look at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's really the highs it's established in this range are all the way up here at 52K. It's nowhere near that, right? We're on our way, but if you look at Ethereum, the highs it's established. Let's see actually if it was the same. So this is really the highs were December 26th. I guess you could look at it like it's a kind because Ethereum has different structure to it than Bitcoin. Because really, this was your strong high right here, right? So the high that sent us down into a major break of structure. I mean, this was your major break of structure down here, right at 2600, right? That's where you really completely sent us into a new range. So this high is what sent us there, right? That was the swing high that sent us there, and we just cleared that high. So from here, I mean, looking at a daily chart, I would look for this fair value gap somewhere in there around 3600. That's your next target for Ethereum. We could see some pullback before, but that Ethereum's looking better than Bitcoin. I will say that. Also, a lot of liquidity though down below. I think flow is going into this, but I want to see more liquidity on Ethereum. So I could see a flush. I have quite a few areas that I would like to get in. I mean, this is a long shot, but under each of these, you could start to look for longs. I think this zone right here will play a part as well. So I'm going to set an alarm here. Thought I did the other day. Sorry, I forgot I made a coffee. Now, there is a lot of unmitigated internal liquidity as well, such as these fair value gaps on the high and low time frames. I like this level a lot as well. It is sitting on top of equilibrium. There's a little bit of a liquidity down below, but I could see all this get cleared out, and I see some nice reaction there in this 4-hour order block. So Ethereum much stronger than Bitcoin right now, but also has just as much room to pull back. But on the macros, I like Ethereum better than Bitcoin. I have for quite a while. Now, the next coin I want to touch on is actually probably one of the best charts in crypto right now. Um, Looking at the weekly time frame, first up, I'll just go from the top here with the XRP. So you have accumulation that lasted all the way from 2018, really confirmed in 2021, right? Literally, actually, exactly 3 years, April to April, 3 years of accumulation. Started to expand. We've returned down to origin, right? Seems like we tapped into. Let's go back here. Where was I? I got this zone. Oh, this big candle right here. The candle with the most volume in it. Definitely came back and tapped into this zone, and we did form some sell side liquidity here. I don't think we're going to be going back down there unless crypto sees an insane pullback, which is possible, or maybe Ripple loses the lawsuit, which I don't think is going to happen. Now, with XRP, we also have a bullish harmonic, right? An alt bat. And the B point is a little off, but I've seen these play out time and time again. And depending on how you draw it, actually, no, that was a lower one. Yeah, it's right around 618. So, something else to keep in mind. Now, going back into the daily, also a lot of trend line liquidity. This is something I'm seeing across the entire market. So, I would be looking for us to break down, just like Bitcoin, and clear out all this liquidity because a ton of people are going to get out and freak out, especially of Ripple, right? Everybody's scared to play Ripple. I feel like, with all of the legal issues they have going on, it doesn't take much to shake people out of their positions. So I think if we could come down and mitigate some of these zones, we have a 4 hour, I think it's a 1 hour, 1 hour, yeah, two 1 hour order blocks. Um, Tons of liquidity above, reason for us to go to the downside and tap into it. I mean, you could continuously, I've already polluted my chart with tons of lines, so much liquidity that needs to get cleared out. So I would not be surprised to see this play out in our favor. Now, I'm not going to set limits on this, but I'm going to set alerts for both these levels. I thought I did. And I'll watch for a change of character at these levels. And if I can get a confirmation, best fucking believe I'm going to play it. So hopefully I'm around a chart when that happens. Either one of these, you'd be clearing out this trend line liquidity. What I'd be looking for is a nice reaction and then a break of structure, not one but two, play the order block of the second break of structure. And I would be swinging this to the heavens. I'm just going to let you know. I'd be trimming heavily at highs, right? Like on the daily, I'd trim heavily here, here. Um, and again, just to touch on same setup as Ethereum and Bitcoin, we're trying to create these equal highs here. Ethereum or XRP's already got really close. If we can engineer all that liquidity, I mean, that's perfect to go up. I really want us to get stopped like a wall at these levels. After that, I mean, literally your next target would be the supply if it doesn't get tapped, which is 92 cents all the way from 80 cents. I mean, this would be a very, very rewarding play if it goes the way I want it to. Also, I think there might even be another harmonic here. There's just so much stuff going for XRP right now, in my opinion. Oops, fuck. Yep, you got a Gartley right there. Type 2 reaction. I mean, it's just like, dude, like holy shit. There's so much bullish stuff going for it. And it almost makes me think it's like one of those things where when you look hard enough and you find stuff like this, you can almost, I know this kind of sounds crazy, but you'll be able to predict fundamental news that comes out. I've seen that happen time and time again, right? Actually, I'd play this right here, be more of an alt bat, and then you have a type 2 reaction. I mean, it's just like, good God, there's so much bullish. And everybody might hate on me for this because people hate on XRP. I don't really give a fuck. I just like the chart. I don't care what it's got going on. I read charts, not, speculation. I mean, everything's speculation, let's be real. But, and then for those of you guys who trade different patterns, we've got a weekly cup and handle. However you want to look at this, it looks fucking phenomenal. It looks like fucking gold on the monthly. Another thing, I think, let me see how this is nothing to actually like trade off of. Like, don't just, this is just total, just almost fun. But the 5-7 out of the 618. So you're looking for a bearish Gartley on the weekly would put us like 260. I mean, this is, like I said, this is totally fucking just speculation. And then I think there's like hold on, an extension that lines up with it. Yeah, it's the 200% extension from this accumulation, which a lot of times you'll tap, is exactly where you need this to be. I wouldn't ever expect that, but it's interesting that these levels are correlating. And then if you saw something, I mean, if, if they beat the fucking case, I mean, this shit's gonna fly. So I'll be looking to build some XRP. I mean, I'll be not only looking at longs, but only equity. So for you XRP fanboys, it's time to get happy if we can maintain this structure. Now I'll get into some coins that you guys wanted. I had what the fuck? When HNT 100? Fuck, bro. You tell me. I'd love that. That would be amazing. Um, I would really love that. Speaking of HNT, I mean, sorry. I know I just said I'd go over your coins for you, but HNT, bro, this shit was killing me earlier. Started dumping. I literally moved my HNT to sell some, and it like right here. I was like, really, dude? Because I was like, oh, we're coming up into supply. I might want to dump some bags. It was like I'm talking like I sent the shit, and look how it like dumped in like a yeah, like a 30-minute time period, dude. Or no, it's over here. Yeah. Wait, was it? That wasn't the dump. No, no. Yeah, I was gonna say. There's this dump right here. It was like a 30-minute time period. I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hold now. Um. So first coin you guys asked for was YFI limits. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably going to touch Wi-Fi right now, just because I think there's a lot better opportunities, and I think Wi-Fi's fundamentals are they're just kind of butchered right now, especially with Andre leaving the space. I know I just said I don't really care about certain things like that, but this chart doesn't really look like all that great. I mean, I mean, it's bullish price action. It's definitely lagging behind, but I do think that Wi-Fi is heavily dependent on its utility, and it's just getting left in the fucking dirt by all of its competitors. But let's take a look. I just would rather have my money in other assets at this point. I will say you got some pretty clear liquidity up here. So you got that. So that's good. Fuck. Some more liquidity up there. And having trouble, it seems like, staying above uh, premium. Let's see. I'll actually maybe draw this like, sorry, like this. That actually looks a little better. Yeah, I mean, this would make more sense because as soon as you come under equilibrium, you start to see bullish price structure manipulation of lows, right? I mean, there were entries given here and here, right? You had two very clear entries if you were watching this. And now, personally, how I would play this is I would wait until we form more buy side liquidity, and then I'd look for any unmitigated zones down below. But ideally, um, what I like playing whenever the market gets crazy like this is the return to origin, right? And what I mean by that is once we come out of here and break structure, if we do, right? Like say if we do this number right here, bam, we clean up this liquidity distribution, and then you're coming down, right? Where to? Somewhere around equilibrium before expanding the upside. And that is where I'm going to want to play. We're going to look for those order blocks in the high time frames at or near fair market value. I'll go ahead and tell you, here's one right here, right? Very fucking clear. And these are the easiest setups, right? Patience, though. That's the hardest part about these. Because I could watch this fly. I mean, absolutely fly clear out all of this, and just teeter totter around here for days to weeks, come all the way back down, and then you're going to get that entry. Here, I'll give you guys, I actually just went over this in a one-on-one earlier. This is a great example of a perfect return to origin, right? So here back in summer of 2021, right? Price, here's your order block. We hadn't broken out of the range yet, right? When we did, right? Okay, so when you're up here, Everybody's FOMOing in. You're becoming exit liquidity, right? But we have a fair value gap right here that you're right in equilibrium of. You've tapped into supply. And remember, we're trading liquidity. So where are you going to go? Early longers are going to go right here. Why? Oh, daily order block, daily order block. Yeah, well, there's obvious liquidity right there. So you set yourself up to fail. Now, price comes back down. If you play this order block, within less than a week, you're up 70% on equity. And this is just simply off of, I mean, this is very basic TA. I mean, you are out almost fully right here. Easy money, right? And if the market is going to continue with bullish momentum, you will see a dynamic reaction after you sweep out liquidity, right? You're getting the early longers and coming down and mitigating these levels. And this is the same setups we're going to see on a lot of these coins. I promise you. If we are to see another quote bull run, right? For instance, look at Bitcoin. Oh wow, order block right at equilibrium. If we break from here, right? Let's look at Ethereum. I haven't even looked. It's actually not one on the daily. And this 4-hour one that we were talking about maybe playing. We'll just click anything that has a high market cap. Let's click, I don't know. I don't know if FTM's even past equilibrium. Speaking of FTM, I kind of want to look at this while I'm on it. I don't think that's going to get cleared out. Won't worry about that. I mean, really, that's your price range. You're still heavy in discount. I don't know. There's not really any clear entry in the high time frames here. I mean, they've all been hit. Like you could have hit from here, right? You were instantly probably missed that there. I mean, it's just everything's getting swept up pretty quickly. All that needs to get cleared out. And don't sleep on trendline liquidity because during a trending market, you're going to get more of that. You're not going to have a ton of equal lows in high time frames, right? And you want that to get swept up if you want everything to maintain bullish momentum for more than a couple days. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of these order blocks equilibrium on the 4-hour or daily charts, and that's really where you're going to get the best setups and waiting, not playing the expansion itself, but playing the move that it gives you. Damn, everybody's on YFI tonight. I'll go back over it. It's weird. I haven't heard anybody say YFI in forever. So, basically, I was saying we look pretty good. I think there's other projects I'd be putting my funds into just because YFI is kind of just lacking in their fundamentals, and they're a DeFi project, so I think that's really important. I mean, that being said, you got bullish price structure on the daily. Your next targets would really be 24,628, and these equal highs up here. At 27,000 is going to get cleared out, especially if this continues. Got a fair value gap. So you could look around equilibrium of that. Let's see if there's an order block. Yep, there is. It's kind of like take that how you wish as far as, if you determine that an order block. And technically it is, really. That was the last candle before, the last up candle before this. So, I would look out for 28,784. And then what was the highs? 27,100, really. Those would be your targets. But again, I think there's a lot better you could put your money into. What's up, Bud? Algo? Yeah, we're still in Algo. Just cleared. Let's take profit. We're in this zone of supply in the 4-hour. Expect a pullback. All right. Where to? Probably expect a pretty heavy pullback, to be honest. Let's say. Let me go to a chart that's not marked up. I mean, in all honesty, you could see a huge pullback like towards our entry, but I mean, that'd be pretty major. I mean, it's plausible. See something back in this, because this is the last very clear bullish price action I see is back in there, right? You've also got nice order block right at equilibrium. Right, and this is heavy and discount on the daily range. I mean, you could be looking at something around there. I mean, there's really nothing to tell you to look that far low yet. Before that, you'd be somewhere in this range, but it's all just about, like, one level at a time. You could also look in here. I see this huge fair value gap above this order block, some equal lows right here. And don't get it twisted. Just because you have equal lows doesn't mean that has to come get cleared out. That could get cleared out in a year. Who knows? But it is something to keep in mind whenever you're trying to pick what order block you're going to use, is to watch out for any liquidity nearby. Here, I mean, you have this cluster right there, somewhere in this zone, and there's nothing really above you that to watch out for. But I would be expecting a pullback. I mean, we're starting to look like distribution on the hourly. We've been running pretty fucking hard. I mean, I'm just telling you, don't try to short anything right now. Just don't do it. Just please save yourself the fucking pain, because it might work, but when it doesn't, it's painful when you're trying to short crypto like this. I see so many people try to do it. I mean, here, I'll just be honest with you. If we get up to 52K ish, and you start 50 to 52K, and you start to see bearish price action, yeah, you could maybe play some shorts there, because your risk to reward would make sense. But here, and it just don't, just save yourself the pain. Ave, no, but Ave actually was looking very good. I mean, that's crazy. I was expecting a pullback, honestly. You still could get it. I mean, the 4 hours starting to look like distribution. I think that we could get that pullback very similar to like how we did in September of last year. Like something like this. Like we had, because remember we had that huge run. Let's go to the daily. Damn, Ave never even saw all time high. Let's go to Bitcoin. Not a good exhibit. We had that huge run, right? And then we had to do what? We had to return down and mitigate some of these levels, right? That was a really good entry if you caught it. But I think that we could be waiting for something of this nature, right? Like I said, you have those 20-25% pullbacks, shakes out everybody. So don't be surprised if we have something like that happen. Let me backtrack. Somebody said Cotty. Cotty's also been looking good. My girl has a bunch of Cotty. I think it's kind of still just getting started. Especially right now, if you're not familiar with all the stuff that Cardano has going on for it, I'd recommend that you start looking into it, even if you're a Cardano hater. Like, what's funny, like I'm looking coins a lot of people hate on, like Cardano, XRP. I mean, seeing some good opportunities with some of them. Cardano's the amount of money that's locked in Cardano has grown so exponentially that you'd have to be a fool to believe there's not something going on. So keep that in mind. And Cadi is the most advanced payment system on Cardano. It's like, think of it like I guess maybe like an Algorand or an XLM built on Cardano. Cardano is already cheap as it is, but still. I mean, this looks fucking amazing. This is what I want, right? Everything else to do is this right here. I want to have this liquidity engineered up top, and even if we tap up above it just a tad and clear it, there's still tons of buy stops. This is where everyone's like, oh, we break out here, we're going all time. You know, it's just obvious liquidity. Then you've got this right here. I mean, you look fucking phenomenal, right? Probably could see a little bit of a pullback here and retrace, maybe give some better entries. Probably something in this zone here. I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, although if you see a nice reaction here, I mean, so how I'd do this, I'd go the 5 minute. Okay, well, you've got one break of structure, right? Right there. Right, so now we're gonna wait. This is actually a really good example. If we break this, right, I would imagine this is probably gonna be your last down candle. If we do break it of that sort, you would wait and you could be able to play this with a stop just under it. Right, so if we have something like this go down, right, maybe just come up, clear this, hit this order block over here, come back down to demand, clear out those equal highs, right? But here's the key to playing these kind of trends, right? You would be trimming pretty heavily right here. Now, you wouldn't obviously not take full profits or anything of that nature. Your stops would be just under the low of this. A lot of people would tell you the down candle. I would just say this major low, or not major, but this recent low right here, I'd give it 20 pip stop loss. When you look at that's a beautiful trade. That's 4.5 to 1, right? That's how you properly do that. And this is why waiting for changes of character can give you better setups in the sense of, you might be able to go heavier in them if you're using a, fixed risk strategy, which you should be. But then you got tons of liquidity here. Really, all this is a fair value gap right there. So you can come in here, maybe see if I find any levels there. You've got a 1 minute order block. And yes, that actually is before a major break of structure. If you note there. See, that's the last candle. So you would have a very clear target for a full exit. You'd leave runners. There you go. I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to set this because I'll play this. This is actually looking good if we can get a change of character. So I'm glad somebody pointed this out, actually, because that's a really nice reaction. When you see a reaction like that, and this is following market structure pretty nicely. I need more, though. The next one was Avax. We already have limits on Avax. Left us in the dirt, but it's okay. We're still waiting. I still like the limits. Nothing's changed. This liquidity hasn't been swept. Higher time frames definitely due for a pullback. Right? Let's go to like a actually do this. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to find a possible, there we go, supply zone. What is this 92 fit? It's literally right where we're at. Maybe that's why I drew that line. That would make sense. Yeah, so you're sitting under supply. You already came up, clean up this liquidity. Again, I would like this to come up and tap up here. I would like us to get those market-wide setups where it gives you more confidence. Oops, not weekly. We come up and we tap into this area up here, form some equal highs, and then fall. That's when we get our retracement. That's when we get our entries. Oops, next time I hit space. So really, Avax, nothing's changed. To kind of give you a crash course, we got liquidity down below, equal lows. There's fair value gaps. Also, we're pretty far in premium right now. So I like this. I think it was a 1 hour order block, right? 1 hour order block just under fair market value. Also equal lows above. There's some more demand here. We have some levels, but I still want us to see us clear out as much liquidity as possible. Now I'll still watch for low time frame confirmation here. That'd be nice. I need to set an alarm. Right, this is where we kind of reflect on the market. We don't get all antsy and FOMO and just start fucking buying the top. Like, dear God, please don't do that shit. It's so easy to not do it. And you might get left behind on your favorite coin and be a missor, but that's fine. What else have I not touched on? Yeah, HUD, I agree. I don't think it's gonna be like any kind of like, just from here. I think we're gonna see like, some like distribution, may tap this liquidity, like maybe one sweep, and then just, I could see that. MKR, I'll go ahead and tell you MKR looks fucking phenomenal. MKR, we're looking at, let's see, give you some targets. I mean, really, 23.29, that's your first right there. After that, you're looking at these highs, 2600, 2800. I mean, you've got a room to run. Also with this one, the weekly looks like a really nice reaccumulation here. It's this falling wedge pattern. You just got to get going. There's really not much to make right now, except that you're under really all the lows from last crash. Now you're not actually. You were under all the lows from the last crash. So you've got so much liquidity up above with this one. So keep your eyes on Maker. Adam, you got an entry on longs at $30.02. Shit went all the way past my stops at 29.32 and then ran all the way back up. How could you reflect on that? Oh, it's a great question. Now you said your levels were 29.326. So when did this happen? Can you drop a comment and let me know so I have some reference? Like today or yesterday or something? Looks like today probably. Come on, guy. Let's assume it was right here. So let's see. Well, I'm just going to assume that your limit's 30.25. Or I don't know if they're limits. Give me some context, guy. Come on, bud. Let me know like when you got in this position, because I don't know what area stopped you out, what flush. Well, I'm just gonna guess that you got wicked out. You got an entry at 30 bucks. Oh, I mean, maybe this just happened. Well, first of all, if it just happened, I'm just gonna assume it did because I have nothing else to go off of. Well, you completely just bought. You became like you're not like no bullshit. You really did become exit liquidity, right? In the form of these equal highs, right here, clean highs more so. All this up here that was exit liquidity, right? So you came up here. If you bought at 30 bucks, you were buying up into supply, right? So you don't want to buy. Just think about everything like liquid. Oh, you just entered long. Okay, that's what I thought. So you don't want to be like everything has to do with liquidity, right? So if you're near supply, you don't want to be buying, right? Because then you become buy side liquidity, right? You're buying positions from smart money, right? That's this right here. As far as like, I wouldn't even worry about like the stop getting wicked out because the problem was the entry. You're entering too close to a area of supply, so your stops um, really there was just no play there. Usually, sometimes I can look at someone and be like, "Hey, you got stop hunted," but really, you just bought right into this supply. So that's kind of what happened there. Um, but yeah, that's another thing with this. Let's go ahead and draw this zone. I mean, you're right at fair market value. Um, like I said, I just wouldn't be just aping into a lot of longs here. It's just kind of like why we've been making a lot of money on these plays. You don't want to get greedy and give it back, right? But I could see maybe longs from here, right? You're right under equilibrium. It's a higher low, right? That's what you want to see. But again, these are all trade setups that you want to be setting limits, right? The limits are under, our big pullbacks away. So we don't want to just set them for, it's not that far away. So here you could say set some alerts. If we start to get lower time frame confirmation, ape in. That's not financial advice. Just kidding. But yeah, just you gotta when you're playing lower probability setups, it's not a bad thing. I don't really do it, but there's a lot of people who do it successfully. But how you do it successfully is you wait till the price reaches that level. You don't just set limits, right? And then you wait for a low time frame break of structure, another break of structure. Now you have a change of character and you're looking for limit entries off of the same setups you're finding them on the high time frames, but tighter stop losses and more aggressive profit taking. Because whenever you're entering kind of counterintuitively, like you're buying kind of like closer to supply, you're doing this and that, you got to be aggressive with your profit taking and you got to be very, very conservative with your risk, right? Hump. This is the last one I do before I hop off. This one's kind of been lagging as well. Look at the daily. I thought I was already in the daily. I mean, probably draw it like this because the last high before it resulted in a break of structure. And you're right at fair market value. Daily time frame does look bullish, but so did everything. This looks like you had a nice. Some people would call this a cup and handle, right? Basically, just accumulation into reaccumulation. So from here, you'd be looking at maybe return to origin of this level or this range. Okay, where's that? Really already tapped into it. I mean, you've got demand here, right? You can draw this as this. So I'd probably go in a 15-minute. And you really just tapped into it. So let's go back. This is maybe it was actually a change of character. So we got first break of structure, second break of structure here. I mean, really, I would probably still consider this the level. It seemed like maybe this was the move. Actually, on the 5-minute, hold on. Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, this was actually the move over here. This is how one of these plays can play out. If you're patient, right, you got your 2 breaks of structure in the 15-minute, right? So bam, after that you've got this order block, right? Probably almost wicked you out if you played the recent stop. I mean, this is why, yeah, it's exactly on the dot, equal lows. So this is something I would be getting out of pretty quickly because you have that obvious liquidity down there. So I would scaling over here. You got 1 break of structure here. You're looking for over here before you really play continuation. Like, so this method just like stacks, if you will. So like, okay, well, we just found that there. Oh, maybe you missed that. We'll wait for this break of structure, right? Because you're on the, you've got, or this one really, actually probably down that one down there. So say if you go here, okay, maybe make a low, break this, then you could maybe play that order block if you miss this one. I mean, the method stacks, but I probably wouldn't once you get up here because you've got those equal lows. You got to be mindful of everything around you, right? You've got equal lows right here. This is going to get cleared out. That would lead to this to be probably a better entry, right? You're under equal lows. But I mean, hell, if you played this, you're obviously up, right? Where are you taking profits at? You're taking profits very aggressively. So here, you are out 50%. Here, you're out another 25 to 30%, maybe more. And then really you just have runners and you're taking full profits right here if you make it that high, right? That's how you would structure this the proper way where you actually profit off these kind of setups. Because I see everybody wants to do this. They want to take these trades, stop loss here, and they go like the fucking 4-hour. Oops. They go to 4-hour and they're like, oh, yeah, dude, we're going to this order block. It's like, that's not how this shit fucking works, dog. You can't do that because then you're just going to get cucked. So, yeah, no, I got you for for sure about Adam. Yeah, it's just really like you gotta that's funny. You just gotta be mindful of the high time frame narrative, be mindful of where you're at, don't get euphoric, don't chase shit, and just, really think about everything. Used to do what? Yeah, I used to do it too, bro. Like no bullshit. Like literally it's like you like find the entry and you're like, okay, I'm going to daily. You're like, oh, we got an order block up here, it's unmitigated. It's like, oh, price is going to return here. It's like, I mean, theoretically, it should at some point, but we might be talking, you know, when we're all living in virtual reality. It's 2040. So I don't know. That's just one thing I definitely want to touch on is I see people got liquidity up here, but I see people doing that a lot, getting unrealistic profit targets. But yeah. Well, I'm gonna hop off. As always, I appreciate you guys. Stay out of comp. Yeah, no, honestly, I agree with Georgie. Comp's a piece of shit. Um, they gave away $67 million on accident. Like, get the fuck out of here. And also another thing you can look at. Um, I just misspelled that. Defaults. I think it's .com. Let's see. DeFi Pulse, yeah, it's .com. Will show you for Ethereum how much money is locked into. Wow, I didn't know that Maker was that far above Aave now. But you want to, you can get a general value. CRV, Aave, Maker. Okay, well that's your 3 Ethereum DeFi giants. Yeah, it comps up here. I'm surprised that it's this far up here. I mean, they literally gave away $67 million because of an exploit in their contract. Like, are you putting your money in that? Because I know sure as fuck I'm not. So just stay mindful of that. Wow, Maker, that's crazy. It was not the last time I looked, it was not this high, much higher. 82 billion locked in Ethereum. That's even with prices low as it is right now. Well, as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hopping on. And if you guys ever have any recommendations on topics that I could go over, or just anything you need help with, that's what these streams are for. Don't hesitate to DM me or whatever. Just let me know. I promise. I'd rather do stuff that's going to help you guys than just do TA. I mean, I know that does help too, and I know you guys are here for the plays, but always, I'm sure there's something that each one of you guys have something that you want to improve on. I don't doubt there's shit I want to improve on, right? So I know there's stuff that you guys want to improve on. So utilize, your time with me and ask me whatever the fuck you want. I promise I'm not going to be annoyed or care in any way. As always, though, I appreciate you. Just holler at me. Peace.